2023 was a year filled with amazing game titles that had the gaming sphere abuzz for months, but it's also plagued by the worst scum that could accumulate at the bottom of the barrel. Some of these games just felt either lacking in execution, substance, impact, or even all three. And what better game to start off our list with than Skull Island: Rise of Kong? It's a mostly innocent, if not a little funny looking entry from the minds over at Game Mill based on the Kong King of Skull Island novels. And to say that the internet didn't like this would be a massive understatement. The game was executed poorly, but it's clear that there wasn't much substance to be executed anyway. Many would describe this game to be something of an undercooked mess. But honestly speaking, more time in the oven wouldn't have done this game any good. God-awful visuals, horribly simple and repetitive gameplay, and an audacious asking price of nearly $40 all sentence this game to be mocked into nothingness. At the very least, it's an inoffensive, if a little squirrely looking game that you don't need to worry yourself about. But what did make us worry is the game Redfall. Made by the developers of Deathloop and Dishonored, and defined by the vastly successful looter-shooter genre, Redfall had every opportunity to skyrocket, but didn't. Unlike Starfield, however, it wasn't overhyped. It was just below average from the get-go. Bland missions, a weak storyline, and unengaging combat drive massive stakes into this game's heart. What's more is that Arcane was slow to patch the holes in this game's execution, making the concurrent player count fall even harder. But we think we can all agree that no game can get even remotely close to the fall-off of Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2's execution isn't the best, as it underperformed with, or outright didn't deliver many of its promised game modes and features upon release. What we got was something substantial that was locked behind a paywall, but it still sported Blizzard's usual character design and gameplay polish. This game's negative impact was resounding, especially after Blizzard made the first game unplayable, forcing players to partake in a new transaction-ridden product. This game is greed manifest, and it shows with every microtransaction it dangles in your face. There's so much at stake for this game, so many promises, so many expectations, all crushed to pieces in the name of greed. But if it's greed we're talking about, nothing would fit better than Gollum. Lord of the Rings Gollum is what we call an honest attempt. Unfortunately, it just wasn't a good game. Many are quick to assign this the title of worst game of the year, but at least it's bad for the right reasons. Execution-wise, the game was incredibly dull. Pointless stealth mechanics, equally aimless decision-making, unclear victory conditions, and an eyesore of an art style all make this game feel like a game from the 2010s. There's substance as you'd expect from a game set in Middle-earth, but the contradiction between the lore and the gameplay is so vast that you'd sooner trek to Mordor and back than span it. This game caused such an uproar for its poor quality that one can't help but feel sorry for it. Unlike the final game on our list. Calling The Day Before a game would be generous. The game is so bad that it got taken down in less than a week, along with its developers. If you aren't caught up, The Day Before was first announced back in January 2021. And at the time, players were already skeptical of the game since the devs seemingly came out of nowhere. After the announcement, every subsequent trailer was met with a lot of doubt from everyone on the internet, as the game just looked too good to be true. Which was proven to be the case when players finally got to play it. Recycled assets, empty world, meaningless gameplay. This game had it all, or rather, none of it, and executed its nothingness to perfection. In addition to all the nothing it was, it left behind such a negative impact on the gaming sphere that it can be likened to a black hole. Sweeping refunds, studio executives gone into hiding, Steam listing vanished, and just like that, it was gone the day after. You're not going to find a worse game this year than one that was barely a game at the start and non-existent right after. But that's our list for the worst of 2023. Know any games that should be here? Let us know in the comments below. This has been Game8, signing off.